guys, welcome to FantasyAthon. I look forward to this readathon whenever it's about to happen. I don't even know. Is this the second one? I think it's the second one. My daughter wants to say hi. In any case, it's day one. It's almost 5 p.m., so I have a lot to update you on. I'm gonna give you a quick update, and then I'm gonna make my kids dinner, and while they eat dinner / watch a Christmas movie, say hello.
Hello.
You will kiss? Good job. So we have a tradition of watching a kids' Christmas movie every night for the 2 weeks leading up to Christmas. I'm a big fan of Christmas. My husband is not a very big fan of Christmas, so we try and do it when he is at work. They're picking it right now, so let's talk about the books that I am reading. If you saw my TBR, you know that it is quite ambitious, but I'm actually making great progress, so I kind of think that I have this in the bag, at least so far. Weekends are always really hard for me to read because I have all 3 kids all by myself on Saturday, and then Sunday is usually the day that we either go to my family's or we do other social things, so maybe I'm ahead of myself already. My plan includes 2 audiobooks, 2 ebooks, and 1 physical book. We'll see how that pans out. But let's talk first about the book that I didn't talk about on my TBR because it came in from my library via ebook and I had it on hold, so yada yada. I'm throwing it on the TBR. That is The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. I am 50 pages through, not that much. I've been reading maybe half a chapter a night because it is a very slow moving story. It's about this girl, January. Her father goes on all these business trips, and she's left in this giant manor with her keeper, Mr. Locke, who doesn't believe in imagination and thinks that she needs to grow up, even though she's a little girl. But she comes across a door and she swears that the door really exists, and she went in it and picked up a coin, and Mr. Locke was like, that's it, I'm done with your idea of imaginary things. I'm throwing out all your books. You need to grow up. And that's basically as far as I've got. I'm not that far in again, but it's very beautifully written, but it's very slow moving because of that. So it's very atmospheric, and I like the writing style, but there's not a lot of quick movement. There's not a lot of interaction with other characters. It's very secluded, just basically January and her thoughts, and her best companion is a dog, so there's just not a whole lot of human interaction. It's making it move very slow. My Kindle says that, the Kindle app on my phone says that the chapter I'm currently reading will take 41 minutes to get through, which is not my style. So if there's a book that I don't finish this readathon, it'll be this one, but it's not that I don't like it, it's just that it's very slow moving, even though it looks deceivingly thin. So there's that. That was the surprise one. I picked up Arch Enemies via audiobook on Scribd. I put in a request through my library, but it's going to be another 2 to 3 weeks, and I used one of my Scribd credits. I'm going to call them credits because you basically get 3 a month for what you pay. So I've made a good chunk of progress through it. I'm on page 150, chapter 15. We're going to do this again where you're going to yell in the background, and I'll have to edit weirdly. So Arch Enemies is the sequel to Renegades. Renegades is, I can't give you spoilers. So what I'll talk about is the fact that it's going further into the idea of morality between the 2 groupings of people, the renegades who are the anarchists. Nope, I lied. The renegades that are the good guys, and then the anarchists. Because theoretically you're supposed to think that the anarchists are the bad guys and the renegades that save people are the good guys. But really, like anything, there's some gray, ambiguous ideas happening, especially at the top, the people in power, where the renegades want to control the anarchists and their abilities, and the anarchists are that's not cool, but also the anarchists are trying to bring down the renegades. So you're in this moral fight as to who's really evil and who's really good in this story, because there's not really a clearly defined line, and I think that's the whole purpose of the second book. And the only person or people that seem to question this idea, to see clearly at least that or at least have a gut instinct that things aren't the way they should be, is the main character Nova. she is the one that has, in the first book, infiltrated the renegades as an anarchist, and they don't know she's an anarchist, and her whole purpose is to try and bring back information to the anarchists. But in the first book, and coming into this book, she's really wrestling with where she stands and where her loyalty lies. And I'm thinking we're gonna get we're gonna get to the point where she is not for either of them. She does her own thing. That's what I'm hoping. I'm listening to an audiobook. There's 2 narrators. So you get a female narrator when it's like Nova and her parts. You get a male narrator when it's Adrian, who is a renegade, and he's the son of like the 2 most famous renegades. What do you need? A kiss? Thank you. My point in telling you about the 2 narrators is that I don't... You gotta stop talking. You gotta be quiet. Is that I'm not really digging the male narrator's voice. So hopefully I just get used to it, and I'm sure the same people will narrate Supernova, and I intend to listen to that. Now you gotta turn it down massively. This kid's trying to get me copyright and problems. They know that. Well, hopefully I won't get a copyright problem as he's blasting EXO in the background. Okay, lastly, what I'm reading right now is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. Erin Morgenstern is a very polarizing writer. People either love her or don't like her, and I am in the first camp. I can't figure out what... No, I know that she writes a little bit slower and a little more lyrical than your average writer, so I guess I do understand being in camp 2, but I also, my heart doesn't understand it. The Night Circus is one of my favorite books, and this is shaping up to also be one of my absolute favorites, and I'm only 75 pages in, give or take, but it does move very slowly, and I intend to take my time, which is why I'm calling it the only book that I'm reading physically, because it might take me all 10 days, just with my schedule and how often I get to pick up a physical book. This is a story about, there's multiple things happening here, okay? So there's Zachary. He is a university student. I think he's a grad student, and like, he has to do with gaming, which is cool because this is about books and gaming, which are 2 of my favorite things in the world. And he stumbles across a book in a library, and this book not only has, can you not play with the stuff back there? Not only has tiny little stories that are very whimsical written in them that we get to see interspersed between the chapters about Zachary, but one of the stories in that is actually plucked from his childhood. So he saw something that happened to him that no one else knew about written in this book that he got out of the library that had no ISBN, that the library didn't really know what to do with, so they just kind of created a sticker for it. And he is having like a visceral reaction to the book existing in his possession. And that's about as far as I've gone. I know it ends up having to do with like some secret societies and stuff, and you get a little bit of glimpses of that secret society, which seems either alternate universe or very far past. I don't really know yet, but I just love how Erin writes. I really, really do. It's beautiful. If you like Laini Taylor's writing, if you like Madeline Miller's writing, I think that this is Erin Morgenstern. If you've been putting her off either of her books because of the on the fence reviews, you might want to check them out, because I think that they all have a very similar lyrical writing style, very whimsical writing style. Some people are just born to weave a very beautiful story, and I think she's one of those people. I anticipate this being one of my favorite books of the year already. We'll see. I don't know. It could go wrong, but so far I don't want to put it down. It's just really hard to pick up physical books. That's my update. I might put 10,000 Doors of January on hold because my other ebook is Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roan Horse. I want to prioritize that as my diverse read. So that's my update. That's a lot of talking. I'm gonna break my vlog up into 2 vlogs, 5 and 5 days. So I should have this up like Wednesday or something, I don't know. In any case, if you're watching this, I'm in the past, so whatever. I'm gonna go make a dinner for the kiddos. They're supposed to be watching a Christmas movie, but instead they're listening to K-pop, so what else is new in this house? All right, let's see the next one, next clip. Okay, bye. Isla wants to show you her holiday bells. Her cat ears. She's like V.E. Schwab, but younger and less rich. Okay, bye. I got a new face mask. This e.l.f. marshmallow soothing mask because my skin gets super dry and painful in the winter. Plus I'm PMSing, so I'm all broken out. So we'll see. I did not expect to look like Casper the Ghost, and here we are. Of course my heater would turn on right now and Finn would move my camera. I never spot test, and then I put it on and I am like, whoa shit, I should have spot tested because I have such sensitive skin, but here we are looking like Casper. Gonna continue listening to the audiobook of Arch Enemies. I have seven chapters left. Killing the game. Gonna go right into Supernova today. And I will let this sit, and then I will give you guys like a legit update on book progress as soon as, stop please. Okay, well that's it. I'll give you progress later. Okay, bye. All right. What is up? I keep trying to film like a clip and things are happening, like my laundry machine gets real loud, or like the baby is fighting with me again. I don't know where he is. I think he's under the tree. Updated my hair. Finally, it's been way too long. Got to see my sister yesterday, which means that I didn't do as much reading this weekend as I hoped to. But this morning I finished Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. I've been listening to this on audiobook, so like doing chores at the same time that I'm listening to it helps me get through it faster. So like I did my makeup and then I cleaned my brushes, and while I was doing that, I was listening to it and finished it, and I even started, can you see him? Supernova by Marissa Meyer. So Marissa Meyer is, oh my god, the heat just came on. Well, hopefully you can hear me over the heat because this is going to be on for like 10 minutes and I keep stopping and starting filming. All right, I'll just talk louder. Marissa Meyer is typically a 4-star author for me. The books that I love the most, that like stick in my heart and speak to me, tend to be written lyrically, and the prose is just magically written and beautiful. I don't know, like Circe, Madeline Miller, Strange a Dreamer by Laini Taylor, like things like that are the books that really stick with me in the end when it comes especially to fantasy. So Marissa Meyer writes a lot more straightforward, and it's good stuff. Like she writes, she's good at writing, but it's a little predictable, and the straightforwardness, it just doesn't resonate with me as much as something more, I don't want to say masterfully written, because I would say Marissa Meyer is a master of her craft. Almost everything I've read by her has been a 4-star or less. Like I didn't like Heartless very much, but the Lunar Chronicles are what got me into YA fantasy, so they have a special place in my heart, but they were like 4 stars at best for me. So like I expected it going in. I gave Renegades 4 stars and it stuck with me, so like I was really looking forward to these, knowing that they probably wouldn't be my favorite books ever, but that I would thoroughly enjoy them, and that's exactly what happened. I'm holding up Supernova. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I like the question of morality. I love that the main character is struggling to figure out what side she wants to be on. Not wants to be on, but what side she aligns with in terms of her beliefs in the society they're living in. And she also is really loyal, which is a very important and cool personality trait. And I respect her loyalty to the original group that she is part of. But also she's starting to realize that there's flaws on both sides, you know what I mean? So this whole book is just a continuation of her and Aiden keeping secrets from each other, but also like falling more for each other, and trying to keep up with all the lies and do the right thing at the same time. This ended on yet another cliffhanger, just like Renegades did, and so I just dove right into Supernova. I used a credit on Scribd for this, but my library had Supernova on audiobook, so I didn't have to. But I'm only like half of the way through chapter 1, so I can't, there's no point even showing you or updating my thoughts on this. But I'm excited because I'll definitely get these two read. Obviously I'm halfway there, and they were both books that I wanted to get done before the end of the year. So I'm proud of myself for that, and I'm excited. First book down for FantasyAthon, and it's a 4-star, and I assume this will be too, unless something goes horribly wrong or I hate the ending. So that's the update there. Now I'm moving very slowly through the next book, but I am loving every minute of it, and that is The Starless Sea. I've got the dust jacket off, as I've said before. That means business. I know there's like a camp of people that still keep the dust jackets on, and I don't know how you like don't lose it or damage it or like it doesn't drive you crazy, those of you that do that. But I also hate putting fingerprints all over this, but hey, it's a well-loved book. This is beautiful. I am on page 228. It is like a 500 and something page book, 487. So I'm more than halfway through then, and I absolutely adore it. I love the time shift. I love the more magical fairy tale-esque stories that are interspersed between the like here and now storyline. The here and now storyline being the one that we follow the main character Zachary through. Zachary Ezra Rollins. And every chapter that is about him, the here and now, starts with his full name, Zachary Ezra Rollins. And I just think that's such a great way to help readers' brains adjust to the time hop from the fantastical stories that don't directly relate to what's going on. I know they will, and they're starting to at this point like come together, but they're not directly related when you start. So starting every chapter with his name is just brilliant in my opinion. I am really, really loving this. I don't know what else to say because I don't want to give anything away. There's definitely a secret society aspect to it, not the way that like Lee Bardugo does it in Ninth House, where you're not like on campus and it's not student based. You want another banana? You have two banana, one in each hand? You should see this kid. He's just juggling a banana in each hand. What are you doing? Yeah, come over here. I'll open one for you. Did you get one for me too? Oh, they're both for you? Can you say banana? Come on. So I don't want to give anything away. The society spans like hundreds of years, probably even centuries. So it has nothing to do, and like people, how do I explain this? People of all ages are in it, might even be like beyond regular human aging. So I can't confirm that, but like I think. And it's just such a fascinating, like I read passages and I wonder, how do people like Erin Morgenstern come up with stuff like this? It's just so whimsical. And parts of it remind me of like, don't do this again. Of like Alice in Wonderland and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm loving this, and I can't wait to give you like my overview when I am done. When he goes down for a nap, I'm going to try and read as much of this as I can. I've been awake since 4 a.m., so it's gonna be hard to focus. But I also suck at napping. I wish I still was good at napping, but like once you have a kid, it just doesn't work the same. And lastly, I did start Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse. I have a really hard time saying that without saying it slow. I was invested in the first chapter. I went to bed 2 nights ago and thought like, I'm just gonna read the first chapter and get like a little taste. I ended up reading 2 chapters, even though it was super late, and I was like dozing, but it's so good. I'm like 5 or 6 chapters in now, so I'm not that far, probably 15% maybe. But the story is about a girl named Maggie who hunts monsters, and these monsters, if I'm not mistaken, are created because she is in her tribe. This is like a Navajo inspired fantasy and takes place on a reservation where their gods have given people powers in the past, but it's like no one really has these god powers anymore. And it like when you get them, it's draining to use them and whatnot. And this main character she's one of the few people that still has these powers. So she is a hunter. She hunts these monsters that come and steal little girls and kill them, eat them, basically. So she gets, the very first chapter, she gets hired to go find a missing girl who was taken by a monster. She does that, she tracks it. The first chapter is violent, and you get a really good sense of who Maggie is, and I was just so sold instantly. And there's gonna definitely be like a romantic subplot, and I don't know how I feel about it yet, especially because we got introduced to the guy that is gonna be like the back and forth, and I'm assuming he'll be a lot more present in the story from this point forward. And it's definitely not what I was thinking, but it's going to be an enemies to lovers type thing if it does happen, because they like instantly don't like each other. And that's the only kind of romance that I like really love almost every time. So we'll see how that goes. In any case, I am doing pretty well for FantasyAthon. I'm pretty excited about the books that I'm reading, and that's good. I haven't moved any further in 10,000 Doors of January because I switched over to Trail of Lightning, because 10,000 Doors was taking me a while to read, but it isn't to say that I won't read more of it during FantasyAthon, so I guess we'll see. I'm going to try and open him a banana and put him down and get some reading done. So guys, I will see you in the next clip. Did your shoe just fall off? Did your shoe just fall off? Where is it? There it is. Say hello. Say bye-bye.
Hold this. And hold this. Nope, got it. Now put it back.
This?
Hi guys, we're making cookie today. Oh yeah, the version of it is we're making cookies for Christmas. Hi guys. Opa, beep, bapa. No. Hold it in my hand. No. Mom. No.
All right, after all the cookie making, I made dinner. So instead of telling you how to make this, sometimes I crave this cauliflower-based Alfredo sauce. So if any of you are interested in the recipe, just comment below and I will give you the link to the one that I use. That's pretty easy. But yeah, over pasta with some roasted vegetables. So it's like a lot of veggies in there and it doesn't look like it and it's really healthy. Okay, bye. I look as tired as I feel. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, let's wrap up what I read today since I last checked in. Tomorrow will be the last day of this vlog since I'm breaking it up into 2 parts. So I will close out tomorrow night with my progress on everything, and then I'll restart a new vlog on Wednesday. So it'll be 5 and 5. So during the baby's nap, which ended up being an almost 3-hour nap because he woke up at 4 a.m. He's getting 2 teeth in right now. It's not surprising, but that's why I'm tired, because I can't nap anymore. I think I said it in the last clip. That's how tired I am. I'm repeating myself. I tried. I read like a chapter of, The Starless Sea while he was napping, and I was fading. Like literally, I would get to the bottom of the page and be like, just read one more. So I tried to nap a little bit. I ended up putting on like a Christmas movie. I've been watching some of the ones Netflix has, like the one with Vanessa Hudgens. Is that her name? I watched that the other day and I didn't really like it. And then I watched Let It Snow today, which is the YA one adapted from like a collection of short stories, I think. I'm pretty sure John Green wrote a short story in it. I haven't read it. The movie was okay. It was cute, whatever. If you like cute YA, like interwoven stories, check it out, I guess. And then the baby was still napping, so I was like, you know what, I'll read a little bit more. So that's all I've read. I am at 273. So today I read 100 pages, just over 100 pages of this. So that's actually pretty good. I'm 54% through because earlier I said that I was just over 50% through at like 225, and I can't math. Now I'm officially halfway through it. Still loving it. But as I said, it's slow moving. Like each page takes probably a minute and a half, and I'm probably a minute a page reader, very slow reader, and I can't speed read unless it's one easy text, like especially YA, more so than adult works, which this is an adult work. And also, if I'm not really loving a story, it's the only time that I'll like speed read through it because I just want to get it done. You know what I mean? That's what I do with Girls of Storm and Shadow. If you saw my November wrap up, you'll know why. And then I was listening to the audiobook of Supernova by Marissa Meyer while I was like finishing baking the cookies once the kids tapped out, and then like cleaning up all the stuff and making dinner while they enjoyed watching, I think they put on like The Grinch, and this movie Abominable. I don't know. Anyway, I'm on chapter 12, so I'm kind of speeding through these two books, which I expected because when I first read Arch Enemies way back last year, I got it on ebook, and I was like, this is thick as hell, and like I owned it for real, and I saw it on my shelf, but I got the ebook anyway, and I thought it would take me forever, and then I read like 50% of it in one day because I couldn't put it down. So these are really moving too. We're at a point, without spoilers, where like things are really starting to come to a head, 12 chapters in, and a lot of like the secrets that have been kept are starting to unfold, and I'm really interested to see what direction Marissa takes it. I really love these covers too. It's one of the reasons that I wanted to own it, the whole series, because look at that, beautiful. It reminds me of her Wired Nerves, is that what it's called? The graphic novel series. It was based off of like a companion series to the Lunar Chronicles. I'm not sure, I never read them. But I really like the covers, which was one of the reasons I wanted to get my hands on those, but not a priority. So I'm really liking it so far. I am excited to see how this concludes, and I'm just so happy that I'm reading. 3 of the books I'm reading right now are books that were on my like finish before the end of the year, as well as Dig by A.S. King, which I already read. So if I complete those 3 books, so I've got 50% of my like 4 final books of 2019 done. So I just have to finish Supernova and The Starless Sea, and I've completed my like last minute wishes for those, with like a week left to go if I finish in FantasyAthon. I think that's it. This is gonna be a really long vlog because I took a lot of footage. So in any case, I just put the kids to bed, which is why I'm updating. I'm gonna try and read a little bit, and I don't know if I'll read much more tonight because I'm probably gonna go to bed by like 8:30. All right, I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Hope you're having a great week so far, etc. Bye. Say hello. Hello. Just closing out my vlog. I didn't update at all yesterday, but I did read a lot. I'm gonna save those updates for the start of the second half of FantasyAthon vlog footage. You know what I'm saying. In any case, gonna wrap it up because I just edited the rest of the vlog footage and it's already quite long. So I finished 1 book so far. I will definitely finish 3 books by the end of FantasyAthon, so I'm pretty excited about that. And that's it. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you are new here and would like to see more content from me. I post all my social media links down below. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads. I hope you are having an excellent week and an excellent December. And that's it for me. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Should be up on Monday. Look at you. You're gross. Okay. Bye. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.